check in. What have you got? Ah.
Hail!
All right, welcome everyone. We're back, we're doing it again. And I gotta fix the overlay, don't I? Oops. Okay, 1 out of 20 out of 100. What's going on, my guys? It's another 100 maps. Very similar to yesterday, but boss rushing edition. Yeah. All right, everyone, we're kicking off the intro. Welcome back. It's another 100 maps of cluster jewel farming, eye level 84. Slightly different tweak, though. I mentioned this at the end of the last video. If you want to see the previous session where it was basically kind of really pushing farming item level 84 clusters, getting a lot of simulacrum splinters, delirium orbs, delirium rewards, basically. That was done on Strand map. The TLDR was put as many unique enemies onto the map as possible. Make a map that's easy to full clear. Bonus points for Strand, getting extra simulacrum splinters that way. Very fun farm. Did pretty good. Got about 25 div an hour. Not counting some crazy outlier drops. Actually did a lot better than that because I was lucky. But we removed those drops. And now we're going to take a look at the boss rushing edition, which is going to be a little bit different. But if you want to see the previous video, you can check it out there, because I'm going to kind of speed run the strategy this time since it's so similar. As you can see, we are running nightmare maps, and they are going to be relatively high quant. Not all of these are 8 mod corrupted, but several of them are. That's because the quantity affects the, well, affects loot in general, but it affects the reality fragment drop rate most of all. It looks like Abomination reality fragment's up about 90C or so, so it's finally starting to pull ahead as one of the better maps to potentially boss rush. I will still be running the same setup as before, with trying to put as many rogue exiles onto the map, but won't be full clearing them because the fragment values juxtaposed with the cost of the map and the investment is such that boss rushing for a strat like this is going to be superior to like full clearing. We're not like juicing the map up per se. Abomination takes too long to just like go around and clear the whole thing out, but it's very easy to rush. So I'm just going to kill whatever is on the way, which will be approximately half of the rogue exiles on the map, as well as the smuggler caches. They might show up as well. Can't forget about those. Yeah, and so let's go to the Atlas real quick. Almost identical to yesterday's farm. The only thing I did is I pulled the point out of here, like Delusions, Persecution, Compulsive Hoarder, and these two down here, because I'm not going to be getting as much in the way of Delirium rewards. I still want to go for Simulacrum Splinters a little bit here, because, you know, we're rushing the boss. It's kind of nice to get that extra reward round. But I took those points and I went ahead and put them in Scarabs, as well as all of the increased effect modifiers and the whole quant thing, again for the reality fragment as well as general loot, which will also affect Scarabs. The big reason why putting a little bit more emphasis on the Scarabs is because it was already kind of a pretty good option when you have this many rogue exiles on the map, but also since we're running originator modded maps through nightmare maps, several of these are going to have % more Scarab multipliers, so that's going to greatly boost the look for Scarabs So that's the reason why. We're boss rushing, not going to be as deep in the delirium, not full clearing the map, so we wouldn't get as much value out of these points here. Anyway, that's the only difference, so I mean, it's still the quant wheel. This is the linchpin of the entire strategy here. Delirious unique monsters and maps have a 2% chance to drop additional cluster, 1% to drop a delirium orb. And one big reason for Abomination is it's the only nightmare map that has not one, but 4 unique enemies in the boss room that are all eligible to proc this point. So that's kind of big. Oh yeah, I forgot to put a couple extra points in skittering swarms down here. Yeah, but then, yeah, everything else is the same as last time. The investment cost, well, these nightmare maps are still really cheap. Boss rushing still as profitable as ever. Your default nightmare map is like 30C, and your average fragment values are around 100C. Pushing there. That's so much currency if you're able to run a map in like 1 minute flat by itself. That's before you attach any other strategy onto it. And so this time it's about 40C per map in total because these fragments are still worth very little. I paid a little bit more than 30C per map on average because I wanted some of the premium ones, but I never paid more than like 40C for a single map, and most of them were between 30 and 35C. And with that, we start. Get right into it. Start the timer, can't forget that. We'll see the icons on their heads will direct me a little bit on where to go, but I already know this layout extremely well. We have a Tink already, a Divine Orb. Wow, okay. Depending on the layout, the boss room will be, usually the boss room defaults to north. I'm going to swing this way just to grab the smuggler cache for good measure. Well, how about this for boss rushing? Map done. So we didn't get a Delirium Orb through the unique enemies or a cluster. Cluster jewels, I'm using the Omega Strict filter like I was before, so we don't even see them unless they are one of the better ones. I mean, that's a lot of currency for like 1 minute. Generic mod's gonna give me currency, huh? Crazy. I need to get Culling Strike Headhunter, don't I? It's okay to take the 20% bonus mastery for the ice shot. Yeah, but not take that over prog speed, so only if you have a second mastery. And only if you're using a rare quiver, not with Ahu on his bite. That's not worth it. Scarabs are... You can check the description of the YouTube video or type !Atlas in the Twitch stream. You see the scarabs there. It's all Anarchy scarabs. I don't even think I'm a full clear for the Grand Eldritch Embers, honestly. Now the boss room is really close. Rogue Exiles can drop clusters and deli orbs, yep. Maybe a slightly lofty goal right now, but my hope is that this is a 40 div per hour strat. It might be if I run it fast enough. But really, it's going to come down to prioritizing speed over, like, clearing. Reality. Hate that. God, I swear if I get another crazy div card again, this one loaded up with div card drops already before I even exit the first room. One of my most reliable viewers, Hobby Sense, already here. Doesn't matter the time of the day for you, huh?
Sold something while you were gone.
Here. Is he reading YouTube chat? Nope. He's not. Got the front row seat. Yeah, sure do. How much div for your build or similar one? At the current threshold, it's easily probably 1,000, between 1 and 2,000. Where the difference is mostly in like corruptions and the bow, quality of the bow craft. Like if you settle a little bit on like tier 2 mods on the bow, you could go for less. Looks like I'm taking the scenic route this time. Jelly orb. 84 clusters are not dropping off of the reward round. They will only drop off of unique enemies or rare enemies or magic enemies. But magic or rare enemies is going to be super uncommon here because the drop rate of clusters off of random monsters is very low in this game. So that's why the strat revolves around the Atlas Notable. It gives a flat 2% chance for a unique enemy to drop a cluster, which will automatically be eye level 85, actually, which is, it doesn't matter if it's 84 or 85. The point is, it's higher than, it's at least 84, and eligible for the highest roll ranges then. Another Deli Orb. And there's a 1% chance to drop a Delirium Orb, which every Delirium Orb's worth at least 10 Chaos right now. That's not bad as well. Sucks when you don't drop the reality fragments. Winter Orb. Started wondering which second build I should make or keep Winter Orb. Don't even know which league mechanic you're aiming for. The best thing about the build I'm running is it is both a blaster and a boss rushing capable build. At this threshold, I could do uber bosses, actually. Except it's not very tanky, although I did improve the tankiness of the build a lot for going bark skin for once, which was kind of interesting. Bark skin defensive layer. Kind of like it, actually. So it's excellent for like nightmare boss rushing, juicing strats. Like I could be doing breach farming with this build, or I could be doing boss rushing. But the only thing I'm not gonna do is like really hard uber bosses, ones with like bosses with invulnerability phases are really annoying with this build. You quite often can't survive those kind of things. As long as it's not invulnerability phases, it's fine. Barkskin slept on? It was definitely slept on by me. I'm already predetermined I'm going to league start a Barkskin Warden next league. I'm going to absolutely play into that. I'm looking forward to testing various setups with that. Thinking about doing a cast on crit, something around cast on crit Forbidden Right, actually. To force a 0 Barkskin setup for maximum evasion and spell suppression prevention. Yeah, Cirrus is a terrible boss to fight on this build. Absolutely terrible.
Approach, challenger.
Yep, Maven would be annoying. And some of the, like, Ziggurat and Citadel are also, like, kind of no-goes. Or at least Ziggurat is, 'cause, oh my god, that... Triple reality. So much money. It's gonna even out. It has the even drop rate. Reality, Fragment, Awaken. So Awaken is not really worth anything. Reality is worth like 90. I still think it's only barely better than Fortress right now. But I actually like, in terms of like
Challenge.
pure boss rushing, I like Abomination better than Fortress. A little bit. Abomination is also excellent for this build. I can't miss with Ice Shot of penetration, even though it's just one arrow. Now, apparently the prevention is hard capped at 75 now. I just found that out yesterday. I was looking into it. Because, yeah, I was contemplating at 100%. Like, but then you're immune to spell damage. GG's not going to be happy about that. Darker have. If you look up the second ascendancy point for Barkskin, it states that you have flat spell damage prevention per Barkskin, but for every Barkskin that you're missing, you have 3% spell prevention on your spell suppression. So if you're missing all of your Barkskin, you have 30% additional spell suppression prevention. So if you have 100% spell suppress, you're no longer preventing 40%, you're preventing 70%. And apparently the number's hard capped at 75. That's a massive reduction in spell damage taken. Yeah, apparently back in Ultimatum League, you could... Maybe it was Ultimatum League, I don't know. Whatever league where spell suppression was introduced, you could prevent 100% of spell damage, and then they, like, deleted that by hard capping it at 75, like the next league. Because players were immortal to spell damage, and that's not allowed, obviously. Anyway, I wasn't surprised at all to see that be the case. Bad drops on that one. Well, as long as I don't get screwed over on the reality drop rate. We go. I lost some damage today. Gave up my taming ring. This came across my desk for AD Divines earlier. It's even better than the one I had last league, and the one I had last league was insane. I can't believe that was only for 80 div. So it might be the best Fen towards gamble I've ever had. Ever. Wow, okay. I mean, you know, talking about the quality of the roll ranges. But sure. Money. Money. How's the league treating me so far? Probably my best league ever. 1 week into the league, I was already basically mirror tier. I got decent RNG on drops this league. And in the current state of loot, like I just make a freaking killing, because any strategy revolving around boss rushing is just giga money in this economy. Giga money. Like, it's one of the very best ways to farm for currency. Whether you're talking day 1, day 2, day 17, it doesn't matter. Like, there's so much currency, especially in an economy like this, where people are down bad about raw loot drops or whatever. That only elevates boss rushing strats when ground loot is bad, because this is the kind of strat where you're basically giving up ground loot in a big way compared to some other things you could be doing. I got a Divine Orb altar while Ember farming, got 29 Divine Orbs on like day 3. I barely even did the league mechanic, but the one time I did, I got 40 Divine Orbs because I got that special mod on it. That was like day 5 of the league. So I mean, I was jump started pretty quick. And then I got Headhunter on like day 6 as well, while not really even farming raw loot. Although I underestimated how much raw loot was dropping in that strat, to be fair.
We've made it.
Till next time, shall we keep saving?
I also actually got a raw Divine Orb in the campaign, which is kind of rare. I think I had 2 raw Divines in day 1, which is, you know, definitely more lucky than not. Those things matter a lot for like hitting the ground running, especially on a bow build. So I definitely had above average RNG week 1. Oh yeah. And then yesterday I got a Hinacore lock from a mapper, and I barely even done the mappers. Although it was only worth like 36 div. I was like sad how low that was. I thought that'd be worth a lot more. I guess since nobody's making mirror tier gear, nobody cares. Like the lowest I'd ever seen locks a week into the league. Yeah, I mean they're bound to go up. Alright, should go her first. God. Oh, I forgot to take possessed bosses off the thing. Oops. I'm not supposed to be doing possessed bosses, really. I mean, it doesn't matter that much at this point. Yeah, it's true. The combination removal of synth mods and then us getting the lock through the league mechanic, more or less, is... Yeah. 2 orbs already. What? Crazy. Thinking of re-rolling to your build, wanted to ask, do you swap out Headhunter for general mapping? No. You just run Headhunter. What would I swap it out?
You've had a
20 maps done just like that. 25 minutes. 20 maps in 25 minutes. Jeez. That's even faster than I was running when I was testing the strat. Let's keep this train rolling. No clusters yet. In the 20 maps I tested, I got a 12 passive spell and a 3 passive reservation efficiency. Of course, we don't have a single cluster drop yet. Good lord. Oh my god, I fucking hate that so much. I saw that mob die and she somehow raised to the ground while dying or something. That makes sense. I'm halfway tempted to just kill her first, even though it's like, makes it way rippier. Could probably almost do that. Yeah, I just run Biscos until Headhunter you go. Just tested it. You can hit 100% damage prevention. I mean, yeah, that's possible because I was relying a lot on AI. I usually like double check things like that a little bit, but I might have let that one slip and just trusted the AI on that. I remember I asked it a follow-up question to verify. Usually it'll correct itself if it's wrong, but I guess it didn't this time. Really? 100% immune to spells. That's effing crazy, dude. I asked it so many questions revolving around that. I asked it like, has anyone ever made a build before where you have 100% prevention? First it was like, no, it's never been done. And then it was like, yeah, but there were several ways to get 100%. There were ways to get 100% spell spread, and then it was implying that it had done it. So yeah, it was kind of all over the mark when I was asking it questions. I said, you know, theoretically, could I have, you know, 100% prevention if I did X, Y, and Z? It was like, yes, you can, but it doesn't work because of the hard spell cap prevention, and then it referenced a specific league when that happened. And I mean, I should have went to the wiki and looked it up. Does the PoE wiki say anything about spell suppression being hard capped on the prevention side? Well, I mean, one very easy way to do it would be the bark skin setup. You'd have 70 there, and then you take the mastery where you suppress spell if you've suppressed recently, and that would push you up to 100 or very close to it. And you could just rely on that, you know, if you wanted. I didn't look into other items as ways to get that. Yeah, the nurse card is a local divination card drop on Abomination. Usually by the time I get around to farming it, the headhunter's not really worth anything anymore, but this league, it's holding a little while. So, given that your starting point is 70% spell suppress prevention, what would you guys suggest for getting the remaining 30% in a hypothetical build defense-wise? Does iShot only work with a Fizzbow, or does Ella work too? Ella works too. This setup with the Heat Shiver, you would arguably want Fizz Cold conversion, but you can do like hybrid Fizz Cold conversion with like flat cold damage. That's what the League Starter bow called for, actually. There's got to be some sort of build enabling item that gives a bunch of spell prevention, suppression. The wiki was suggesting to me that you can't suppress your own damage. So like a cast on crit Forbidden Rite would not proc the mastery. But I didn't test that. That would be easy to test, actually. Why is there somebody in my chat named Snoobay84? Wow. How much is that Mentor's Gamble? 80 divines. I bought it 5 minutes after it was put up. Ain't nobody looking for Ventors. Apparently. Nobody had a bot online for sniping Ventors. Not for 80 divines. Or we could do something like Mage Bane and like go for, I don't know, something like 150% spell suppress chance. Ancestral Vision. And yeah, like just sometimes you would have 100% due to the mastery and then go for the mastery. Where you lose suppress chance but gain prevention. And if you had like 150% spell suppress chance, like it would probably never go below. Or you could just kind of go spell suppress lucky as like a backup. 2 masteries there. You can make a deck stacker in the end or something. Yeah. Reawakening fragments. Ancestral Vision, it's 5%, but what is it, like Foulborn Ancestral Vision? Huh. Damn.
Spoils swell in the air.
Come on, guys, give me a cluster jewel.
These worlds
I haven't played in a while. What league are we in right now?
Got some wealth for you.
I almost forgot the name myself. Curse of the All Flame. It's a spelunking league. You're spelunkers.
My mana is full.
Voice Delve. I never even heard that. Nice one. Except that it's more heist than it is delve, so I don't know why you call it delve. Wouldn't it be moist heist?
approach.
I'm just going by the fact that if you loot the item, you don't get it until you return it to the home base. That's heist mechanic. You're heisting underwater. I don't know. I'm more of a mechanics guy than a textures guy, I guess. Experimented items. 3 divines. 3 divines. Woo! Money. Money. It would have been crazy if that was another experimented items one. Moist heist doesn't sound as good. The double entendre falls flat there. No, it doesn't. All you gotta do is imagine you're stealing a girl's virginity.
For you.
You can win on that, I'd say. Thinking about putting this mastery back in. 3% chance for hits to deal 300% physical damage is extra of a random element. When that procs lightning, that's a max shock, like automatically. And I'm only getting like 10% shocks right now. Especially after losing the taming. I just can't get over how much survivability this bark skin gives. I remember doing this last league on a character with like the same defenses otherwise. It would just die every now and then, like periodically die on this content here, you know, Rogue Exile or something, or this boss. I've died once in like 30 maps. It was from the boss. It's pretty nice. Really? Spamming flame dash there. I guess I had 0 action speed. Alright, well. It is with no headhunter buffs. I can turn the deli off though if I want. Surely. Surely I don't have to. What is that recovery, dude? It's like non-existent. Freaking drowning orb there again. That was the first map that gave me any real trouble. Probably took some player alter, boss alter or something. Yeah, I know. It is always like that, yeah. The worst is when I was at 99.9% of the way to level 99, and then it took me like another 2 hours to get to level 99. Just leave it at that. That one stung real bad. Actually, let me test this. Let's see. I have to pull a lot of points. Just want to see if I notice huge shocks. My attack speed's so unbelievably high now, it's probably worth doing something like this. I tested this before when my attack speed wasn't as high, and it, you know, it's not as reliable when your attack speed's not as high. But I mean, with or without Soul Eater now, I'm like just blasting off arrows. So many arrows a second. That one never took a big one. Alright, let's see. We got, oh yeah, it's immediately up to 30. Nah, the problem is it's only like double. Not much better.
We've made a trade.
Hello. Keep your life to your own.
Actually, let me pause. I have to have precision in. Or I gotta get an accuracy roll on gear.
Ahoy there!
I can't do it, especially with this socket. It's only 30%, though. It's more for duration than anything. Hmm. I tested this and it's just too weak. I was hoping like flat on gloves, flat on Abyss Jewel, flat on Quiver. I was hoping all that would be enough to like, and it's enough to max shock easy content, but anytime I'm doing this, you know, max deli bossing stuff, it's like 20% shock at best. But if I still had that link, I could switch out Ensnaring Arrow maybe, but then I'd lose 20% increased proj damage taken from attacks. I can drop Power Charge on crit. In most cases, I'm still crit capped. I don't need Bone Chill or Power Charge. I wonder about Storm Rain of the Conduit. I could, you know, I could put overcharge in Storm Rain. Could try that as well. I don't know if it would do much shock effect though. I'm gonna mess around with this a little bit. I bet losing Hydrosphere is kind of a big DPS loss.
Oils swells in the air.
Bro. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to die here. Invulnerable boss phase. Can't even tell what's going on there. Freaking Shroud Walker and other stuff. Let me try another map. I did see some evidence of higher shocks. %, 50, 30 some. It takes a hot second to get on there though. $24, 31, and I'm dead again. Okay. I mean, what even was that? Anyway. Was meh. I don't think it could really... I don't think that really did much. Could do Innervate though. Uh-oh. Isn't there some hidden anoint that's like a really, really high ailment threshold effect or something? So you transition later into TS or something? I did last league, but I'm not going to this league. I'm just going to stick with Ice Shot. Why do you always get one altar at the start of the map? The influence is spawning the second I zone in, because sometimes when there's too many Eldritch minions or something that, I don't know, the game is for whatever reason programmed to just give you the influence instantly when you zone in. Am I planning to put an update video on the build for Ice Shot penetration? Is it pretty much just the gear from Tornado Shot? Yeah, you're the first person to actually ask that or suggest it. I'm kind of in the back of my head thinking about it. It's pretty much the same, just you don't prioritize. Basically, the only major difference is you don't prioritize increased projectile count, so it's like easier to gear for, actually. Oops. I'm just looking for a build at the high end. So after Lucky Gamba and only have your current character profile to go, maybe make it work. Yeah, if you can, like, you can always just look at my profile and see what I'm doing at the high end. You're gonna see it matches extremely close to what I'm doing with Tornado Shot, just a few different, you get a few passive points back, basically, and you go like crit multi on the bow instead of extra prog, and go prog speed on the quiver instead of extra prog. Yeah, eye shot penetration is doing double damage because of the, it's exceeding 100% overlap on AoE. That was something I realized early off in the league. That's due to the new changes to cluster colors. So it's literally doing double damage once you have over 100% overlap. I talked about this earlier this league. You can see where it says 120% increased area of effect angle. If that number goes over 100, you have double damage. I'm 90% sure of that. Is this build good for bossing? Yeah, it has very high bossing DPS. Insofar as a bow build, a glass cannon archetype bow build can be good at bossing, yeah. If you don't get hit. Or if you have headhunter buffs, if it's a mapping boss. Excellent for boss rushing on nightmare bosses, for sure.
Greetings. Go with courage.
I feel like I'm getting a lot of reality fragments right now. Yeah, that round I got way more reality than Awakening. Nice.
Your flesh. Choose to fight. Nobody walks away.
To get at least one. Galley orb. I'm not sure how I want to like advertise the next league or how I might go about testing it. But I'm pretty certain Eye Shot of Penetration already, if I'm not mistaken, Eye Shot of Penetration is the highest DPS bow skill in the game, just by the numbers. But then it's also doing double damage because of the extra overlap. With the payoff being you only fire one arrow at a time. That's why it's the highest damage. It's got like the highest innate damage multiplier. It also has a slower attack speed multiplier, but that works out favorably in the context of like ailment, dishing out ailments and stuff. Forgot to get my ghosted buff. Hi 400D, what build should I follow for your ice shot? 400 div, go to Pee-wee Ninja and go to like, I don't know, day 5. The Wayback Machine, see what gear and everything I had. That was probably about 400 div invested. You would have Headhunter for sure.
Boils, swells of the earth.
I was kind of playing it by ear this time. I had some memory of building it up last league, but I went to Tornado Shot really quick, and then I swapped back to Ice Shot later, mainly for lag issues.
You do not belong here.
30%. Dorian. We need at least a couple clusters. I think we're already halfway done. What was that, like chain hook spam? Nice. There you can see the mini boss dropping a delirium orb. That can't happen except through that Atlas notable. So there's proof that it happens. Trying to use an Atlas command in YouTube. We don't have that. Or I don't anyway. If you want to see the Atlas and the Scarabs for this video in YouTube, you gotta check the description. Wasn't Unholy Trinity support last league like really popular? Let's do it again.
Boils, swells of
No cluster count? I haven't dropped a good one yet. So no. I dropped 2 good ones in 20 maps prior to starting this session, but I haven't dropped any in 50 maps now. So, I don't know. Gonna take it in stride, I guess. I don't think the boss can drop one if I initiate the delirium too fast. Full passive fire. It's not worth much though. Maybe full clear in this map. We got divination, scarab drops. That's the best one. Even the worst divination scarab's worth a bunch of currency. Elder Communion count's not that great on Abomination though. So we also get some clusters potentially. Pilfer. Scarab dupes, obviously. Ooh, currency and scarabs? Ooh, got the divination rewards. I'm feeling good about finishing this map. The one map that I full clear, guys. And no, I can't pick up anything.
approach, challenger.
We've made a trade.
Hello, go with courage.
Titanic Scarab, oh my god. Almost outran the mirror. Oh, this isn't even close to 100% delirium. Ten simulacrum splinters. Woo! These gloves are worth like 30C, by the way. They're worth the same as a yoke. Crazy enough. I believe it's just for the dust, because they're like a tier 1 category. Unique. Xandro. Xandro got me. Maybe I ran the mirror again, because he didn't really do any animation. Didn't even get a simulacrum splinter stack. Oh my god. Whoa. Not the drop I expected, but okay. Two passive armor. Woohoo! I'm going the wrong way. That's what I get for going the wrong way. More loot.
Something.
Hello. Farewell.
This session's going pretty well, just not getting any clusters is all. Even if I got 0 clusters from this, it's still probably 30 div an hour or something like that. Only 2 divine orbs though.
Boils swell from the left.
Wait a minute. Does elemental reflect? Is reflect considered a spell? Thorns damage? Or if you could proc. Because I know bark skin gets triggered by... No, bark skin... Actually, no, I don't think... Wait, bark skin gets triggered by physical reflect, but not the other one.
My mana is gone.
I just realized I'm hitting these guys with sentinels. I wonder if just like 8 mod corrupted nightmare maps is like, and boss rushing for highest fragment drop rate is like goated strat. Huh. Been a while since I died like that. What is this comment, bro? Oh my god. I'm a Luminary is taken direct control of my Merc, yes. Wait, how popular is Ice Shot of Penetration on Merc? And they can't get the overlap either. They do half the damage. Well, passive physical. Missed again. Triple awakening. What? Ugh. He burns. I still think I'm probably higher reality than awakening this session. I hope he just comes out dead even though. It's the best results.
Tread no further, villain.
Well, really? Okay. And that would have killed me. 2 reality, 1 awaken. Mm. I thought about doing 200 maps for this. But since I only did 100 on the other, I figured I'd just do 100 on this one. Now that's just too much of a good thing. You gotta know that feeling when you get the triple reality frag drop. Mm. Oh, I got Grand Embers. Oh. Yeah, I got the Divination card one too. Should probably full clear this map. Grand Ember is like 6C. I'll take one of everything, please. And a high smuggler cash count map. Dorian.
endless sailing.
Greetings. Farewell.
$13. I can't even click the deli mirror.
Choose quickly.
Even that, like, that delirium AoE right there would have probably killed my character without bark skin. They used to have to, like, avoid every single ground effect, practically. Now I only have to squirm against, like, damage over time stuff. Forgot to use my Ice Shot Bow. Hey Snoop, just joined stream. Ask why Rogue Exiles for the strat. For this specific strat, it's a lot more about boss rushing. There's only so many things we can do with our Atlas to enhance the quality of a boss rushing strat. But going Delirium and trying to slam as many unique monsters onto the map and maybe get a jackpot cluster or deli orbs, extra deli orbs, is not a bad way of doing it. Yesterday was more of a true cluster hunting farm. Because we were like full clearing strand maps instead. Every unique enemy has a 2% chance to drop it. 84 cluster plus, or 1% chance to drop a deli orb. But the amount of currency I make from this strat, even if I got one big cluster, like it would, the currency earned from that's going to get dwarfed by the reality fragment. It's going to show up like, you know, reality fragment is going to be like 8 times more value than the next second most valuable thing I drop in this farm. Like it's basically just a boss rushing strat at this point. So whatever I do outside of rushing the boss, I don't want it to take much extra time at all. why I got like things like Smuggler's Cache, Rogue Exile. You just kill on the way. I barely even, you know, take a couple extra arrow shots or something. That's about it. Yeah, this is, I think the strat I did yesterday is probably the most efficient way to farm, target farm high level 84 clusters, but there is no super great way to farm clusters right now in the current meta. Understanding like Simulacrum's baseline, you have to do like a whole Simulacrum and you might average 2 or 3 clusters. That's a lot of time just to get like 2 or 3. On the Strand strat I was doing yesterday, I was averaging about 1 per map, but the map can be done in under 2 minutes. So it actually is a fairly efficient way to do it. I just got a deli orb from one there. I probably should have had all of those on my filter so people could like see how many I dropped per hour, for example, but oh yeah. Those maps cannot be influenced by tree or scarab, that's right. You can at best fish for Deli Mirror to spawn in there, but it's like a flat 8% chance for one you open. And you're probably not going to get like really anything of any value outside of that. You know, the few clusters you might get. I mean, you can full clear one of those and get no clusters. They're not going to be. You're not going to get many deli rewards. You won't even average 1 cluster per map that you run, probably, doing that strat. It'd be like 0.8 clusters per map you run, Baldo map you run. But there will be 84, because Valdo maps are the only area remaining that's area level 84 automatically. Now, if the Atlas tree worked in an area level in a Valdo map, that would completely change the game, and we'd all be running Valdo maps with this strat. And the market would be flooded with those clusters. Yeah, imagine we had like, I don't know, a cleanse zone with +1 to monster level. Pretty cool mechanic, dude. And passive minions. Oh my god. We had Awaken Atlas. What are you, like a developer? Aspiring developer or something? That's too much. That's too out there. You aim too high. Dude, that split arrow. Oh, way off into the distance. Oh god. Oh, boss died first. I'm actually a developer, but not for GGG. Lol. Nice. Nice. Enchanted armaments. Nice. Getting Elder Influence randomly is super clutch.
I've got some wealth.
Hello. Keep your life to your own.
Wait, this all fits in one dump tab? Really? Have you tried the Rogue Merc strat, or are they too much to handle? I haven't tried it. I know Mercs are pretty rippy though. I don't know, I might test it later. I don't know what it is, like strats that have already become well established. I don't know, I'm not that enthusiastic about testing strats that people already know all about, you know? I'm taking 1200 chaos damage per second. Essence Scarab. Alright, I'll take the long way around on this one. We'll go the scenic route. Worth it. One reality fragment. Yeah, that doesn't sound like the kind of strat I probably do. That really was a Rogue Exile hangout right there. I thought those map might have been flooded with exiles, but they were all just right there on that one spot. Oh, who? Map 80? Dude, we still don't have a big cluster. I have seen some cluster drops, but all the wrong ones. Replica. Nope. The arm getting demoralized.
I've got some wealth for you.
How much is current investment into the map? It's just the nightmare map plus junk scarabs. I'm registering it at 40C per map. Build, in the thousands, 1 to 2,000, maybe more. Divines, that is. Did I not flame dash out of that. I didn't portal. Oh my god. Fucking go the long way. That's crazy that Delimir hadn't even moved yet. I'm doing extra content, so I'm gonna get extra drops. I know it. I just know it. Oh, never mind. Boo. Extra simulacrums are. Dude, I think I'm actually getting really lucky with reality fragment ratios. Delimir got used to speed, decided not to move. Yeah, I decided not to. It's like that scene from Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift where he's like, why aren't the police chasing us? And like they can't even catch up with you. They don't even bother. There's a scarab reward. Anarchy mob down there. Maybe I should kill him. I'll definitely drop like a preservation scarab, bro. Right? Right? No. One awakened scarab. I had to say something. I had to say something. One awakened. I think I got unlucky on Darker Have drops yesterday. I only got one. Ooh, shape your toast. Aren't you just boss rushing? Yeah, basically. I'm trying to figure out a way to add as much value to a map as I can without really adding time to it, and so things like Heist and Rogue Exiles for extra cluster jewels and high level 84 clusters and Deli Orbs, and you know, like hoping for fully revealed blueprints, experimented item blueprints. Maybe take a couple every once in a while, take a little right turn, kill an exile that I can see on the mini map there. How much does the build cost right now? 1 to 2,000 maybe. I definitely need to get Culling Strike. That would be like legit 10% more damage on content like this. What's a Culling Strike Falborn Headhunter worth right now? I need to know. And I was getting worried I had 2 maps in a row. I didn't get a reality fragment. Not cool. Wait, what the hell? Yo, the last session took me 3 hours and 18 minutes. This is gonna be done in like 2 hours and 18 minutes. Dang. This is working better than T16.8 mods. I would classify it as a different farm. It's more of a boss rushing strat now than a cluster farm. You're gonna see the result in Wealthy Exile. It's gonna be like massively skewed, reality fragment heavy. It's gonna be like 80% at least of the total sum currency I make is probably gonna be the reality fragment. Maybe, I don't know, maybe 60 or 70, but I'm probably gonna be close to 80.
Boils swell from
I would love it if I could drop a couple big clusters. That'd be nice. I'm not gonna like full clear these maps just for that. And enchanted armaments again. Any plan to check the newest Ascendancy Jewel from Abyss due for Warden?
Check in with me when you have.
Hello. Keep your life to your own.
Maybe I don't know what that is. New Ascendancy Jewel.
boils swell from the air. Power.
What's this? An Abyss Ascendancy, like a Bloodline Ascendancy point, or you just, it's like a Forbidden Flame Flesh Jewel. What's the jewel name? Oh, it's a timeless jewel. What if, imagine it's extra spell suppress prevention. Get a mad cope. Now we're back. We're so back. Check just for a second here. I got 110 reality fragments and 91 awakening fragments. Oh my god. He can't keep getting away with it. Three cartographers scarabs of risk? Wait, that was off of Rogue Exile. Scarabs? Wait, does a 200% increased scarab drop give me 2 more of those? Is that how that works? That's so not how that works. No way. What if? Three awakening fragments. Oof. I had to open my damn. I had to go and look. I had to go and look. I'm probably not going to drop a single reality fragment for the remaining 10 maps. But even if that's true, still wouldn't be a terrible showing. Like, I already have 110. I already have more than 1 per map. I think for a strat like this, with the quant that I have here, like, I'm supposed to have about 100%, 110% of the drop rates. Like, so 110 out of 100 maps is probably about right. If they're an even drop rate. This is Rogue Exile get utterly deleted there. I can only tell how fast they die because of the minimap icons disappearing. Never even saw their body. We're on home stretch, guys. Last 10 maps. Still don't have a single good cluster yet. I think my best cluster is worth like, I don't know, 50C. Gonna have to praise. Damn, I had like no help from the headhunter there. 5 meters maximum direct flight. Wait a minute. What does that mean if you have split projectiles? Does that mean they just split after 5 meters? Automatically? Dude. What? Because split projectiles, when the target is done with its flight, quote unquote, it then splits into 2 more. I'm gonna have like splitting open air projectiles if I do that. Are those like keystone mods? Is that what those are? Oh, it overwrites an ascendancy node. I'd probably have to give a bark skin for that. Is that Deadeye though? That must be like Deadeye, right? Oh, all classes. Medium clusters. What? Okay, well, I'll look into it. For sure.
Approach, challenger.
Do you swap tornado shot later on? I think you can if you want, but I don't think I'm going to this league. It depends on the content you're doing, but like tornado shot can be better or worse depending on what you're doing. Although I think this league, Ice Shot's just gonna be better because Ice Shot appears to be doing double damage when it's 120% AoE overlap angle. That's something that GGG didn't account for, I think. Still speculation from me, but I mean, nobody knows probably better than me in terms of feeling out the damage of that skill when I literally did like 100 maps of boss rushing on my league starter and then made the league starter 2 days later, and suddenly it was like killing the boss twice as fast with the same gear. It was extremely noticeable. Yeah, and that's without Val Ice Shot, which exists too. So that's like quadruple damage when you have like Val Ice Shot compared to before. Because Val Ice Shot is basically double damage for 6 seconds. Essentially what it is. Which is pretty crazy. Oh god, he's on consecrated ground. I didn't even bother worrying about that. 3 reality fragments for my trouble.
Sold something.
Hello. Farewell.
I just look at my inventory. It's just like super. Look at this. You can tell just looking at the dump tab. I have more reality fragments than Awakening. That's pretty amazing when you just eyeball it. So nice. There's so much damage that I don't even need Headhunter. And I just lost like 200% increased damage from dropping Taming. Probably should have kept Taming on for this strat actually. Because, I mean, Uniques is not what we're going for here. I just want one cluster, man. How am I rolling the maps? I'm not rolling them, I'm buying them. 90%, minimum 90% quant. I'm also regexing out any EHP mod that they could have, just so it doesn't slow me down at all.
Boils swell from the earth.
That includes things like unique monsters have a random shrine effect, you know, things like that. Anything that would give them extra health. Players have less accuracy, and you can regex that out. Players have less AoE, that as well. And a couple other things that can be really dangerous, like Abomination. I regexed out monsters that have increased AoE, because F that mod on this map. But I still have things like minus max and all the gains is extra and stuff. It's fine. I'm now reflect immune too, so that's nice. No reality? Reflect changes are good. Yeah. Last map. No good clusters found. Jelly orb. Alright, just for good measure, I'm gonna take the long way around. These guys right here, one of these. No! 4 minion, 1 reservation if you need data. You're talking about 12 passive? The big ones? 2 hours and 20 minutes.
Sold something while you were
I see.
gone.
How many 10 passives? 11 passives. Yeah, uniques have a better chance of dropping clusters. That's right. Because of this. Delirious unique monsters in your maps have a 2% chance to drop an additional cluster jewel. Flat chance. If you full clear map, it results on average. There's on average around, considering the breakdown of the gigantification partnership, all that stuff, and the occasional ruckus map, an average of around 50 unique enemies in a map. 511s. Cool. Did you track your currency per map? Or currency per hour, by chance? Nope. Okay. Only 3 divines. I just pasted Morrowind music instead of what? I don't know what that means. $125 realities, 103 awakens. $61 divines, followed by 3 divines, as in divine orbs. Oh yeah, did drop a nurse card. I forgot about that. Bloodline's worth less than a divine now. What? Hmm. Four blueprint. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 blueprint. 1, 2. Oh, 3 currency. Uh-oh. Wait, it didn't even go up much in value. Weak sauce, 188. Alright, 1 divine. 1 divvy. 55. These are now worth more than they were before. What the hell? These are up now. 60, 60, 80, 80. Okay, hold on. Experimental. 3 div. 1 div. Yeah, they're about the same as before. They're like 3 div. 5.7 divine bonus. Aren't you tired of cluster farm every league? No, I didn't. I didn't even farm clusters last league. Plus, I keep it fresh. This is a boss rushing. The other was strand delirium rewards plus clusters, and this is boss rushing plus clusters. You just put delirium on the map now, and you're effectively farming clusters. I think next strata might do double wisp, but not the way everyone else is running it. Yeah, Adar ran more of those maps than me, ran 300. Did you enjoy that farm? Like, did you hate it after 300 maps, or were you like, oh, you enjoyed it? Okay, cool. Oh man, the best cluster I got was worth 30C. Oh my god. Really unlucky there. Yeah. Interesting, the Delhi Orb amount was almost half of what I got before. That's more than I expected, actually. Yeah, this is going to be a terrible compare-contrast. Unfortunately, everything is just wrong. Anyway, jumping the gun here, but I made 33 div an hour. With lucky reality fragment ratios, mildly lucky. I got reasonably good RNG on the blueprints, but I got nothing good otherwise. Not really. 6.6 div in scarab value, 5.7 div in currency values. Oh. Which scarabs am I using? Those. The ones he linked. I mean, this is like the third time a strat came out to 33 div an hour for me on the farming session. I don't know what it is. Kind of weird. Well, Yes, we are doing this thing. Okay, everybody, welcome to the results. You might have noticed there was a missing highlight or two. No major cluster drops on this session. Got very unlucky with cluster jewels. We're going to look at that in a second. But so much consistency from the reality fragment. I mean, could not make good currency with this. Let me say it again. Why is that so hard to say? Couldn't not make good currency with this strategy. As you can see at the top of the list, reality fragment 125. We actually had pretty good RNG on the split because the reality fragment, awakening fragment are exactly the same drop rate. Only 103 awakening and 125 reality. If you're wondering how I averaged well over one of each fragment or 2 fragments per map, that was because I stuck to at least 90% quant nightmare maps, and I generally selected the quant Eldritch Altar too, usually, unless it was like some horrible map, horrible downside or something, or the minion option was like really good. Yeah, so I did focus a fair bit on the quant for the purpose of getting additional chance at the fragments, and it does matter. It's not a huge deal, but it matters a little bit. So I definitely recommend favoring higher quant nightmare maps if you are boss rushing. They don't really cost more than normal because people don't value juice that way on nightmare maps, generally speaking. If we see the breakdown on here, we can see 68 div and fragments. The vast majority of the currency earned was the reality fragment. You can see in the second line of the list is divine orbs. So almost 6 div in currency, that checks out. I'm kind of in my head comparing to last one where this number was like 12 or 13 or something, I think. Scarabs a little bit higher to be expected. We focused a little bit more on scarabs. Deli orbs about half or less of what we had before. That makes sense. Fewer delirium reward rounds. Less killing monsters, not doing the deep deli and strand. Although we did get a lot of orbs from Rogue Exiles, but we're not fully clearing the maps at the same time. Last time, the div card number was like in the 30s or something because I got really lucky with it. No luck there with the divination rewards. And then I guess this is, what is this? The astrolabes, I think. Oh no, that's what these are. I don't know what invitation is there. And then we see Cluster Jewels third from the bottom at 114C. I gotta show you this. I mean, that's just miserable. This ended up being nothing of a cluster farm, but it was just a lot of bad luck. I mean, you guys can take my word for it. I did 20 runs of this before I started the farm. I dropped a 12 passive spell. I dropped a 3 passive reservation in 20 maps. And then I ran 100 maps after that for the record. Didn't drop anything. So, I mean, that's how it goes sometimes. That's why even 100 maps maybe isn't a good sample size. So I basically already talked about everything. I'll just scroll down so you can all see it in here. Link to the full VOD in the description of the video if you want to see that. Now we'll get to the numbers. Bonus on the blueprints. I should show you that here. We have a fully revealed currency or scarabs blueprint. Now this isn't worth some insane amount. It's worth about 1 divine. Non-fully revealed experimented items is worth 3 divines. Then we have clean full reveals. These don't get calculated right because the application thinks that they might be, enchanted with thief's trinkets or something and therefore not really worth anything. So we have to adjust the values accordingly to give myself credit for that. I'm running heist for a reason, to not really slow me down in the maps, but just pick up some extra effective currency on the way. Let's see. Wait, what? I don't know why I have that there. Yeah. So we can see the investment cost 22.2 divines with a bonus of 5.7 divines in blueprints, gross 99.7 divines. Didn't have to adjust anything downward for any reason. 77.5 divines net. Per map was kind of similar to the farm yesterday, 0.78. But we finished this farm in 2 hours and 20 minutes. Yesterday, full clearing strand, it took me about 3 hours and 20 minutes to do 100 maps. This took me 2 hours and 20 minutes because I just beelined for the boss room in most cases and did not full clear abomination maps. 33.3 div an hour with the less time spent. And obviously with a very different looking Wealthy Exile profile. Even though I was technically, to some extent, trying to farm the same thing. I knew that the reality fragment would be way at the top of the list, barring some insane outlier drop. But I was definitely hoping for some more value in clusters for sure. And that's going to basically sum up my thoughts on the farm. I mentioned the chat a moment ago. This isn't going to look like a great compare contrast as an item level 84 cluster farm because of the compounding effect of me only clearing half the map, which means I'm only subjecting myself to like half the cluster drops, and also getting unlucky on the back end. At the same time, that made it just so it looks completely skewed. Last time, I don't even think I got all that lucky, actually, for 100 maps. I've had some people in the chat talk about some of their findings and results, and sounds like other people are doing actually better than me on the cluster jewel side. That said, I think it was a satisfactory farm. You don't have to add clusters or even heists to this, and you're making probably 30 div an hour if you ran it as fast as I was, regardless. Just because that's how freaking lucrative boss rushing is. And you can pick your map. You could do this on Fortress. It wouldn't look much different. Abomination. You could do it on Ziggurat, Sanctuary. You could do it about on whatever map you wanted. And it would all look about the same. So, trying to find a creative way to make a whole bunch of extra currency on top of boss rushing. I still feel like the best variation of that strat is probably with the Beyond. But I wouldn't really want to run that high pack size Beyond strat on Abomination. It's just the layout doesn't really suit it very well. Guys got anything to add? Or like bonus cluster on the fragments? Yeah. Lycia has valuable drops and gems. Yeah, I suppose. I don't know if it's all that valuable anymore, but maybe it is. It might actually be the only remaining valuable thing. The problem with her, though, is that her fragment has gone down in value, and she just drops 3 different ones that all have equal weighting. So if you compared the fragment values to Abomination between Sanctuary, Abomination, it would be pretty different. What would the div per hour look like if you got even a single average? It'd probably look like 40. Maybe about 40. Like if I had dropped a minion cluster, and if I dropped a minion cluster and a reservation cluster, it would have been over 40 div an hour for this session. In the high 30s instead of low 30s for one of those two, I guess. Right, so that's going to basically close up the video. What am I going to do next? Guys, I'm thinking in the back of my head. I think we might try some more juice-related content. I don't know if I can get out of the boss rushing thing. I feel like I want to incorporate every single strategy into boss rushing somehow. I still can't believe how cheap the nightmare maps are and how expensive the fragments are. It just doesn't really make sense to me in my head, but I guess just that many people hate it. Hate boss rushing so much. The Abomination map doesn't suit any sort of juiced stuff, but there are other ones. Like, we used to run Sanctuary boss map all the time, and Fortress is still pretty good for doing that stuff. So taking sort of a tier 17 mindset into one of those and then kind of trying to speed run the map while running it juiced. I have some ideas in the back of my head, but we'll share them in a future video or on a future stream, I think. We'll see. But yeah, I think as far as just predominantly focusing on speed running, boss rushing. I'm probably done with that now for the league, at least as far as making content. We're probably going to get a little bit more into some of those interesting juiced side of farms. Either way, whether it's on originator maps or nightmare maps, and I'm definitely talking things like percent more currency, wisp scarabs, things like that. So, you know, we might revisit Breach again, but I mean, that the tale's already been told on that for the most part, I think. So yeah, I'll look at some different things and we'll figure something out. Still definitely going to be doing some farming. Not much left to do on the build. We're already cranking up some really big corruptions on things. This Ventor is the best Ventor I've had in many leagues. Gotta get Culling Strike on the belt. That's, I think, the next thing. So I'll probably throw all my currency at that, however much that is. Alright guys, thank you for watching. That's going to be it for this video. If you have any questions, let us know in the comments. That is your compare contrast iLevel 84, technically cluster farming Strand edition versus Abomination edition. Hopefully you got some sense of what the difference is there, and obviously Strand is much easier to run than this, although that does go into 100% delay every time. But obviously the Abomination boss is way harder in any setting than anything Strand related. Thank you guys for watching. We'll see you next time. YouTube video done. Katarina is so annoying. You need to check the jewel. Check the jewel. All right. Check the jewel, he says. What's the name of the jewel? I still didn't... I don't think I got an answer to that. Oh, I did see that one. Okay, sorry. Convert passive skills and keystones radius that it converts each small passive skill in the shortest path. Just okay. Attacks gain 1% more damage for each 2% maximum life they cost if life cost is not higher than the maximum you would spend. Ooh. Does it change all ascendancy nodes? Is there... do we have to, like, buy a bunch of them? Oh, it's 36 divine orbs. So I have to define it.
Business.
How many of these did I find? 116.
The Mary.
125.
All in order. I'll let you know.
Well, once those sell, I will check it out.
The Mary Lee.
Good.
We'll make it
Free
happen.
chaos. Do you think there's something wrong with this league, or is Reddit just dooming as usual? Honestly, I don't even know how to answer that. A, I'm not paying attention to what Reddit is saying about the league. B, I am aware that people's general complaints have something to do with the state of ground loot. I'm not someone who gets my kicks. I get my kicks through a variety of ways of playing the game. It's not exclusively through ground loot being in good shape. I'm not gonna bitch and moan about ground loot if it's better or worse than normal or what I think it should be. I just see it as a different... It just makes for a slightly different version of the game. Like, I see it about in the same context as I do with a meta shakeup in terms of builds. Oh, this league, ground loot is a lot worse than normal. Ergo, this league, there's a meta shakeup in the economy around that. So I guess what I'm saying is people who demand that the game drops in the game be centered around a focus on raw drops, raw loot, as opposed to tile set loot, those people are dooming and glooming in a legitimate way, based on their own belief of how the game should be. I just think it's a matter of opinion, you know? What kind of player are you?
What? Hopefully there'll be interest.
Reddit is definitely an echo chamber, yeah. For sure. I was able to empty that dump tab pretty fast. I talked about this a little bit during the farming session. I, relatively speaking, enjoy boss rushing nightmare maps, especially initially at League start. The worse the state of the economy in a global loot sense, the better boss rushing seems to be. So I just kind of lean into that.
Have you got anything? What have you got?
Focus even more on boss rushing. Any vestigial stuff useful for ice shot? Like what, the new Abyss jewel that we were talking about earlier? Legion unit. Actually, I forgot to look into that.
Hello.
I don't even. Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
Price.
Probably, yeah.
Business. Ah. What?
Ah.
The Navy. Why not go even higher? At that price?
Ahoy there.
All right.
Yes. Spending.
I gotta see if this works the way I think it does. It'd be absolutely insane if it does.
You've had a sale, exile.
Yeah, I'm not gonna have anywhere near enough decks if I do this. Oh, God. Dang, yo, how much decks am I short? What did this do? Oh. I also lose my freaking tattoos, though. Oh my god, dude. Oof. Minions impale on hit. Is that supposed to be good? That's freaking awful. Alright. Is there a way to check the seeds on this? Inefficient mana doesn't prevent your spells from recovering. For suppressed chance even. Ooh. Is that going to be for everybody or? You want to try what? 5-meter one. Oh, I could. Wait a minute. Can I put it here? Oh, it has to connect. Dude. Does it have to connect in a way that's like... Hold on. I would even change these. Hmm. Well, it's good for the notables. Okay. But like, this doesn't pass through any notables. It can't be put in here, right? Yeah. But probably don't want it here. I guess I would put it here. I could put Foulborn Unnatural Instinct here. Maybe. If I tattoo, does it change? I wonder. Oh. We have it. I can test it here. Ooh. Ooh. I have no gear. Wait, that didn't split? It doesn't split? It doesn't split! Wait, it actually blows up behind me too, which is crazy. Oh, that's bullshit. That should automatically split. If you read what split does, it like when the arrow is done with its flight, it will then split into two. When it's done with its flight, this is done with its flight at 5 meters away. How does this not synergize? God, that would have been a crazy stuff. Imagine that just split like forever out in the open. Basically, it's like fork without even needing to hit anything. I don't know why that it doesn't work though. That's bullshit. What's the point of even having this? I guess it's not for bow builds. Yeah, split is at the highest priority. Are we blocking split somehow? No. Let me just see it out here.
I put you out of your misery.
It's not good. There's one interesting thing about it is that it would blow up the AoE screen, like blow up your screen a little bit more reliably, rather than like especially the return projectile just going off into nowhere. It'd be more likely to like clip something randomly behind you or beside you or something, I guess, but I don't see that being worth losing an entire time lost jewel over. Nah. Not useful. The one with increased attack speed or increased damage. Might be good, I don't know. For life spent thing, that one. Already have extra proj on the amulet. I have it here. 2 additional projectiles. It would be splitting if it worked. I'm forgetting where I pulled those points from. Put them back here. Yeah. Oh, here. You would have an ice shot Nova around you.
I've got some wealth for you.
It could be insane if you had like if you could make it so the projectile didn't move at all and just blew up right in your face all the time, because then it would be like a shotgunning thing maybe.
Ahoy there!
Maybe, I don't know. I don't even know if that's actually real though. It's bugged. Behaviors that cause the projectile change directions start a new direct flight in the new direction. Yeah. I mean, it would be probably goated if you have your splitting arrow, whether you hit anything or not. I mean, at least as insofar as like the screen that your game can detect how far, 3 or 4 screens, you would be splitting multiple times off in the distance, and it would be like smart targeting enemies and stuff if it could. No, I already have split. It's here.
What have you got? I think I could sell that.
All right. Div card time. Oh yeah. Only jewel stuff. 36C?
Well, make it happen.
29C.
I'll put the word out.
Not a total loss. much is a culling strike head on 575 div? What? Alright. I got something to save currency for. That's nice. So now are we doing any div strat? I could do rolling boxes pilfering, but freaking red vials is wrecking the pilfering scarab market right now. He's sabotaging us. I'm calling him the divination messiah now. That's basically what he is at this point. What am I going to do with these? Somebody said they're worth like 60 apiece. I went to his stream earlier. It says 50 div an hour on account of the what's that? The original sin, the damnation card. And then on below it says 0 out of 250, meaning he ran 250 maps, didn't drop one. So he's making 50 div an hour without even dropping one. It's kind of funny. I get a kick out of that.
Really?
It sounds like something I would do. The old me, especially. This is negative 10 div an hour if you don't drop. Oh, really? I didn't read that part. Did he just add that as a failsafe recently? I saw something like don't... Or I saw something like 10 div an hour. No, this is positive, not negative. It's a 10 div an hour if you don't run at least 2,000 maps or something like that. What? 2,000? Dang, yo.
I think I could sell that.
These little clusters of mine. Hee 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 hee. I don't know. I haven't actually made the videos yet. You know, I'm halfway contemplating like maybe tomorrow. I kind of don't want to make... I don't like how either of these turned out. The RNG was so wild on both of them with like the div card thing. I'm contemplating running like what Adash did yesterday. 300 maps of Rogue Exiles. The problem with this strat, both of them, the one I did yesterday and today, because we're not like, getting flooded with divination or with cluster jewels, it's just too bad on the RNG, even for 100 maps.
Hello.
I don't know, it's kind of a problem. Actually, I noticed the cluster jewels going down in value a bit.
Business.
I thought, if anything, they would go up in value.
That.
Oh, here's what I could do, too. Here's another reason why. Because I actually regret not showing every single cluster. I think it would be a lot better if I showed every single one. 2. 2. All right, guys. I got a 3-to-1 right here. Right here.
What a
No cope. It's a 12 passive minion.
our fortune
12 passive chaos. That's actually a pretty good one. 70C. Yo. Profit.
hopefully they'll be in
5-to-1. 5-to-1 for the win.
What have you got? I'll put the word out.
Live chaos res effect 3 attack is. Yeah, but how are you gonna roll that? You want to craft on those things? Bro, they're like the most miserable thing to craft. I don't care if All Flame makes it easier. It's just miserable. Miserable. You know, somebody buy that timeless jewel. I got my money back. I need my money back. So I'm gonna have to save up about 600 dib to purchase this Culling Strike Headhunter. Fossils plus All Flame? What fossils, though?
Business.
Intangibility is gonna catch up with you doing that now. Well, I mean, what I presumed is that once you get, okay, so the fracture is going to eat up some intangibility. Then you get 2 of the 3 mods you want, and then you exalt with it. The last mod. That's what you try to do. And then you probably wouldn't even annul with All Flame crafting. You just hope to get 1 and 3 annul. So that's what I kind of assume. I know what we're gonna do. We're gonna raid West Desu. Alright, we're gonna call it there for the day. I'm gonna think on it whether I want to either just post the video on this or run it back like 300 maps. I just think I can make a much better video that has results that aren't so wild, because I dropped like Price of Devotion and the Fiend, and then like the cluster jewels weren't that great, and then I don't know, it just felt like 100 maps wasn't really enough to see the real picture there. I don't know. But the good news is it doesn't matter what strat I do, I always make, I guess, minimum 25 div an hour. Definitely feels like I've stayed ahead of the curve, farming wise. Now, the only thing with the build that I'm wanting to work out the kinks out on is the shock effect. I thought maybe this body, I mean, this body armor covers it for sure in, like, juiced mapping, but not with, like, bossing, though. Or maybe I just kind of settle. Deal with that. I don't know. Anyway, guys, that's going to be it for now. Got a new Game of Thrones episode to watch, too. That'll be fun. Another one just released. I think it might be a doozy, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, so a little bit of a short stream today. Actually, really short. How to finish that 100 maps so fast? What the hell? Imagine doing a whole 100 maps in less video, intro, outro, and still messing around afterwards. 3.5 hours. Oh well. That's gonna be it. I'll catch you guys tomorrow one way or another. Yeah, it should be on tomorrow.